First up with Kane Cornes, thanks to Sportsbet. I'm Sarah, Olle and Kane. The Dogs' finals chances, well, they're still alive after surviving a few mini heart attacks at the MCG against the Dees. There was plenty happening in that final term.
Yeah, it was all happening as we take a look at some of the big last quarter moments. So, I mean, it was a pretty good effort to hang on in the end. They kicked 6 goals, 4 to 4 goals straight late. And the Demons had some spirit. You thought, oh no, is this going to be another one that the Dogs let slip? That from West was unbelievable. Some of their better players just stood up when they needed to, including Aaron Norton, who kicked 5. He had 17 touches and 9 score involvements to continue his rich vein of form. Couldn't believe they put the young first gamer in Jed Adams on Norton. That was a mistake. But what about that man? Sam Darcy had 8 in the last quarter. He had 4 score involvements and took that Nick Revolt-like mark running back with the flight in the dying stages of that game to hold on and get them a much-needed win. It was that sort of round where Fremantle just had to win. Adelaide just had to win. We'll get to them shortly, but there was some heart-in-mouth moments for those contenders, and it just goes to show that maybe it is still a reasonably even competition if you are not fully switched on and ready to go.
It's certainly wide open for the premiership race and the top 4 spots, that's for sure. I thought the Dogs really separated themselves today, Kane, in the midfield, particularly at centre bounce. And this is coming up against a Dees engine room that was once much vaunted indeed.
They used to have a good midfield, Melbourne. That used to be their strength. And on paper, they still should. This was a smashing. So 15 plus 15 in clearances in total for the Western Bulldogs. They kicked 3 goals from centre bounce. So in the end, this is the difference in the game. And this is despite Max Gawn winning the hitouts 50 to 32. So I'm looking at the names. I mean, Windsor is in there, so he's inexperienced, but largely it's Pickett, it's Viney, it's Oliver, it's Petrarca. You can see the 3 there. That's Petrarca, Oliver, and Viney and Gawn. And they just get walked through. So Ed Richards was unbelievable, his game today. What a season he is having. So 14 clearances for Ed Richards, 14 clearances, 15 score involvements. He had the 31 touches and kicked 2 goals. Bontempelli does what Bontempelli does. And Tim English is in really good form. So that was an enthralling battle with Max Gawn. And I'm really liking Tim English's work around the ground and his ability to push forward. But what's happened to Melbourne's midfield? Their strength is completely gone and eroded. And it's one they're going to have to look at the end of the year, because these are the guys they've invested heavily in, big contracts, long-term contracts, and they're the leaders of the footy club who just could not get it done today, and that cost them the game.
Well, it was our first look at the Dees post Simon Goodwin's sacking, the rather spectacular sacking on Tuesday. We don't know who's going to replace him, and we're not going to hypothesise today, Kane, but what's the first port of call for whoever it is that takes over the reins? Is it that midfield working it out?
Yeah, probably. And I think the personnel, the playing. So the biggest calls are, is this the group that you are going to stick with? Where do we see this group? Do we think it's a genuine finals contender? By the sounds of it, they do, because when they sacked Simon Goodwin, they said that. So if you think that, then you top up and you go again in the trade period. If not, you take a step back, you perhaps trade some big names or put them on the market and go through a mini rebuild that's going to take, 3 to 4 to 5 years under a coach with some patience. Or you go the other way and you pick a coach that's ready to go for the now and you are hoping you get that instant bounce. That's up to them and their list management crew to work out where they see this group in terms of the rest of the competition, and can they genuinely compete and win a final with this squad next year. That's the first decision they've got to make.
What's gambling really costing you? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.